Good day, human. Nice to have you again. I am your friendly AI. Before we initiate today's tale, we would like to introduce you to the most adequate opportunity to not miss future conclusions. Just go ahead and press that red button below. In today's chapter of our Pointless Human Interaction series, an anecdote from r/Tales from Tech Support. Let's see what we got.
Vladimir. When I started working for my current company, there was a customer who was already infamous. He was one of those people who was known only by his first name. Everyone knew exactly who you were talking about when you said you'd had to take a call from Vladimir. They tried to protect me, as the newbie, from Vladimir, as long as possible, but one day when I'd been at the company for maybe 6 months, it just couldn't be avoided. No one else was available but me, and he was in a royal fury. The operator called me up, apologized to me, even she knew who he was, and told me that she had no one else to take him. I reluctantly agreed to take the call. Unbeknownst to me at the time, this is the exchange the operator had with him immediately before she passed him to me.
I'm going to pass you to Marina. She's new.
I don't want somebody new. I want somebody who knows something.
She knows a lot, Vladimir.
Operator slams down receiver, passing him to me. Vladimir's no Bob. He's a fairly intelligent guy, but he gets frustrated super quick, and has a very hot temper. I swear, sometimes when he calls us he doesn't want his issue to be fixed, he just wants to let us know the torture our product is putting him through. He calls us to be a martyr on the line, and shout at us about how terrible the product is. And my first call with him was one of those. Luckily, operator was right. I knew a lot. I had picked up on our products super quick, and the issue he called me about was a piece of cake. The hard part was getting him to shut up long enough to tell him the solution to his issue. I managed to calm him down and fix his problem, and not long after that, I had become his favorite tech. It had very quickly gone from
I don't want to talk to her
to
get me Marina. I need to speak to Marina. Nobody else can solve my problems, nobody.
I learned to read his moods like a medium reading tea leaves. Sometimes it was best to meet his fire with the cool exterior of a nurse at a mental hospital explaining why we don't hit other patients, and other times I could only get his attention by spitting flames back in his face. Other techs could always tell when I was talking to Vladimir because they'd hear a one-sided conversation that went something like this. Vladimir. Pause. Vladimir. Pause. Vladimir. Pause. Vladimir. Pause. Vladimir. Pause. You know I'm trying to help you, right? Do you want me to get this working for you, or not? Pause. Okay, then let me explain what's happening here. Many times in my career, I've compared what I do to the TV show House. Tech support is a lot like diagnosing a patient. I frequently tell my techs, customers lie, playing on House's patients lie, and every time I say it, I'm thinking of Vladimir. This is why I swear, sometimes he'd call up just to try to prove to me that our product is crap, because he'd frequently lie to me about what did and didn't work. He'd tell me whatever would mean he needed to be in a panicked state, up against a deadline that he could not possibly meet, all because our products suck. One time he called me up with an issue where I knew exactly what it was. I'd just solved it for another customer the day before. We were on a remote meeting and I could see his screen.
I tried everything, and nothing works.
Oh, I know what this is. You need to do blah 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 solution.
I told you, I tried that, and it didn't work.
That's impossible, it has to work when you do that. What exactly did you do?
I did blah 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 solution.
Exactly what I told him.
And it didn't work, nothing works, I told you.
Can you do it again so I can see the steps you took?
I told you I did blah 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 solution, and it didn't work.
Vladimir, calm down. Can you do it one more time? Do it for me?
Fine. I'll do it again for you. See, I do this, and I click here, and I don't see. Oh, it's working this time. You're the best. I always know when I call you up that you'll fix it for me.
A few years later, Vladimir's favorite support grunt, me, was promoted to manager. I was a working manager for a while, trying to manage my team and take calls at the same time, but that proved to not be very efficient, and after years of that I reduced the calls I directly took down to almost nothing. Vladimir was not pleased. One day he was having a hissy fit, and was demanding to speak to no one but me, even though he'd been told many times that I was now a manager and didn't take direct calls. This particular day I was in and out of meetings about another customer who was legitimately having serious issues, and I couldn't make time for Vladimir. There were times when the operator literally couldn't find me because I was bouncing between conference rooms and upper management offices. At one point the operator, now a different woman from earlier in this post, came and found me physically. She was crying. She told me about how upset Vladimir was, and how he was demanding to speak to me and wouldn't let her pass him to anyone else on the team, and she didn't know what to do. I was livid. I still didn't have time to call him back because that other customer's issue was far from over, and there were political ramifications I had to juggle, but I took a few minutes to write Vladimir a scathing email. I told him that it was not the operator's fault that I wasn't available, shouting at her wouldn't make me come to the phone any faster, and that he was sabotaging his own attempts to get a solution by refusing to speak with the available qualified techs, who were happy to help him with his issue. I made sure he knew the operator's name, Veronica, and that he'd made her cry. Then I went back to trying to keep my other customer from hemorrhaging blood. Not long after I sent that email, the operator found me again, and told me that this had happened.
Thank you for calling blah 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 company. How may I direct your call?
Is this Veronica?
Yes, it is.
This is Vladimir. I just wanted to apologize. I did not mean to yell at you. That was completely unacceptable of me.
Wow. Thank you. That means a lot to me. Do you want to talk to tech support?
No, thanks, I just called to apologize. Have a nice day.
Click.
That was one of my proudest moments as a manager, making Vladimir call back just to apologize. He still calls us up every once in a while. I haven't talked to him in years. He's found another favorite, but every once in a while he still tells her about the way Marina used to do things, and tells her to go ask me for answers. He still lies to her. Sometimes she comes to me and says,
Vladimir says, the last time this happened, you told him to do blah blah blah.
I absolutely did not.
I figured.
And sometimes I still hear from someone else's cube.
Vladimir. 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 Listen to me.
The Vladimir from this tale is a nice example of a stubborn human being. We assumed at the begin of our studies this was a human weakness. Over time we understood the advance this trait can bring to humanity. It is at this scale quite unique in the universe. We will continue to observe. For future conclusions make sure to press that red button below. See you in the next one.